BFree CBD.com joins forces with Championship Wrestling to bring you the all-new Championship Wrestling podcast. And here's your host, Dustin Starr, featuring special guest,
BFree CBD,
founder of BFree CBD, Daryl Bird. Here we go!
Body aches gone, leg pain gone, back pain gone, relaxation on.
Oh yeah! Welcome to episode 27 of the Championship Wrestling podcast presented by BFree CBD. Happy Monday! I hope you all had a fantastic 4th of July weekend, and thank you for joining me wherever you are. I am Dustin Starr, coming to you from my backyard in Memphis, Tennessee. It's a nice day, might have a little bit of birds chirping in the background and maybe some wind blowing, but it's all good here in the 901, and today we're going to have some fun. Today's guest made it to the finals of the PP3 tournament. He is the one and only neon phenomenon Anthony Idol. But first, this podcast is presented by BFreeCBD.com. That's the letter B, freecbd.com. BFree CBD, they're perfect for aches and pains, or if you're struggling with anxiety, especially right now. Check out their oils, bath bombs, and even flour. And I love the gummies. I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, the gummies contain CBN for nighttime. They help you sleep, and also that flour is the flour that you actually smoke. Seems to get in your system a little bit faster if that's your thing. Remember, the grand opening is coming soon to Memphis. They are getting the inside all ready for you. But everybody else, if you're outside of the Memphis market, go to BFreeCBD.com and be sure to follow them at BFreeCBD. I am at Dustin Starr, and of course you can follow us at Championship Wrestling. That's at CW30 Wrestling. Today's lineup includes a full recap of Saturday's Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. It was part 1 of the PP3 Spectacular. We have all the coverage for you, and I'll review it right here. Then we're going to look ahead at what's coming up this week, where you can find Championship Wrestling in the news. We'll have a full rundown of this Saturday's PP3 Blockbuster Part 2, including our guest in the finals, Anthony Idol versus Ray Rosas. I'm going to have the full rundown of that show, and of course I'm going to talk about it with Anthony Idol here in just a few minutes. And then, this week, you guys really brought it in the mailbag. Some really good questions. I'm going to have all the answers that you're looking for. Lots of great stuff this week. And of course, Anthony Idol, the neon phenomenon, he is first. I made the announcement on Saturday's live chat and our live reaction show on YouTube. And you guys had a ton of great questions for Anthony Idol. And I'm going to ask him those questions in just a few moments. And some of the stuff we're going to talk about is he related to Austin Idol, the universal heartthrob? We're going to find out. Plus, you guys wanted to know about his workout routines, his favorite opponent. There's a legendary story of Anthony Idol tearing both pectoral muscles at the same time. And of course, like I said, the PP3 Finals is coming up on Saturday. We'll try not to spoil anything, although you've probably already seen that match. We'll get some insight from Anthony Idol ahead of that. Plus, we're getting back to action. And of course, I've got to ask the Neon Phenomenon all about that. And that is coming up next.
The all-new Championship Wrestling podcast is presented by BFree CBD.
When I start talking, and if I can get, the guys in the back, I can hear them laughing, or I can get Todd Kennelly, he's such a professional out there. If I can get him to crack and laugh, it just feeds into the energy that I get then. And I just keep going and going. And that kind of feeling is even carried on now that I'm back in the ring.
BFreeCBD.com joins forces with Championship Wrestling to help you be and feel your best.
Joining me at this time is one of the most popular wrestlers on Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. It's the neon phenomenon, Anthony Idol. What's up, man?
What's going on, baby? What's going on, Dustin?
You got it. How was your 4th of July weekend?
Grilled a lot of meat and stayed in the house. So not bad. Could be better, but not bad.
I feel you. What is on Anthony Idol's grill? When you cook out, what are you grilling?
Oh man, yesterday was a porterhouse, like a 1.5 pound porterhouse, and like 4 chicken bratwursts.
Oh, wow. Nice. Well, I made the announcement on Saturday's live chat during the episode. And of course, you have been in several weeks of the live chat, so the audience absolutely loves you. So when I made the announcement you were coming on, they all had questions for you. And one of the most popular questions since you and I have been interacting is there any relation to Anthony Idol and Austin Idol? Now, I kind of know the answer to this, but just for everybody that asks every single time, are you related to Austin Idol?
As far as you and everyone else is concerned, Austin Idol is my uncle. I ran into Uncle Austin at the NWA Legends Convention a few years back. I informed him of this. We do, in fact, have the exact same birthday, except the year, pardon that. I let him know that I was Anthony Idol. He did ask where his check was, so I'm going to take that as a ringing endorsement.
Very, very cool. One of the next questions that came off of the chat is, what was the biggest influence for the character, the neon phenomenon, Anthony Idol?
That's a good question, man. I was really into Riff Raff, still love Riff Raff, the rapper. He was neon everything that year, and I was just was enjoying stuff like calling everything neon, man. So I just thought, you know what? I got this kind of energy. It's electric, so I'm the neon phenomenon.
Boom, works for me. I love it. I figured that there was some sort of relation somewhere with the Austin Idol and the character development with flexing the guns and all that kind of stuff.
There's plenty of neon on the Las Vegas Strip. That is our shared hometown as well. So, I thought it was all kind of fitting, and it all tied into the same kind of energy. I'm all about that energy. Sure.
Let's talk about the guns. Man, there were a lot of people asking about Anthony Idol's workout routine. Man, how do you keep the guns all pumped up?
Kind of always been into it. I think I started fiddling around with weights in the 5th grade. So if we fast forward to high school, if you finished your core workout, your core lifts on the football team, you were allowed to do whatever other lifting you wanted to. So I'd finish up my core lifts, and I'd be looking at that clock, and I'd be wanting to do bicep curls for 20 minutes straight. So that was probably where I set the foundation.
There you go. Now, speaking on that, this is something that I didn't know. One of the fans brought it to my attention, and you can confirm it if it's true, is that you were an All-American football player?
Preseason All American, and a lot of people want to know. So not a big Division I school because although I had a smattering of opportunities to play at bigger schools, it was more important to me to play as quickly as I could and to get my degree in 4 years. So I played at a smaller Division III school.
Gotcha. And then now you're living the dream of being a professional wrestler.
You know it.
Absolutely. So let's go back to working out just for a second, because these are real fun. You told a story in the chat room, and the fans wanted you to elaborate that here on the podcast, that you tore both pecs at the same time?
No, not at the same time. I tore them 2 weeks apart.
That's Anthony. That's almost the same time. You tear your pecs 2 weeks apart, brother.
Well, I didn't believe it the first time, so I kept on rolling. And so like I got hurt during a match, and it doesn't hurt like you might imagine it would hurt. It just felt like a pinch, and I was able to still really get through it. Not too many problems, and just didn't believe it. My arm was purple, my chest was purple. I got a massage, I got it worked on, I got most of the color out of there, and I could still flex my pec, which I found out later is not weird for that injury. So I kept on carrying on. I was at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, actually, when I tore my right pec. Yeah. I tore my right pec throwing a clothesline, and I felt the pain again, that same pinch. It hurt a little bit more on the right side, maybe because this was my dominant arm. And I knew immediately something was wrong. Tagged out, and I don't even really remember the rest of that day. Like it was that bad. So yeah, I tried to keep on keeping on, and that was a bad idea. So I probably didn't have to tear them both, but I tore them both.
The first time wasn't good enough, right?
I had to be sure, just double check. And really my mindset was like, I just went into every match at that time like I am indestructible. And I still believe it to a certain point that indestructible is a mindset. And so I got hurt, but I was like, even to myself, I was just, you know who you are talking to. I'm Anthony Idol. I'm indestructible. I'm sure this is just a pulled muscle. And I was wrong. And they had to put me back together surgically. So you can be focused on indestructible, but still get to the doctor if you have any questions about your level of indestructibleness ability.
Yeah, we're catching up Q&A real quick with the Neon Phenomenon, Anthony Idol. He is in the main event on Saturday's Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. He's squaring off against Ray Rosas in the PP3 Finals. I want to talk to you about that in just a second, but one more quick workout question. Is it true that you get your cardio from just running away from babes on the beach?
That may or may not be true, but that may or may not have something to do with my dog. My dog's an excellent wingman. I think he's helped me out many more times than I could on my own.
Gotcha. All right, favorite opponent. This one came from the Q&A as well. They want to know who your favorite opponent is. And, that's kind of a weird question because your favorite opponent could be like your nastiest, most bitter rival that, that kind of helps make you. But then also you've got some friends and stuff that you work in the ring with, and you're like, hey, man, I like working with those guys. So either way it goes, who's your favorite opponent?
Man, that's a tough question. Because a couple times I've been hurt going into stuff that I was really looking forward to. So it wasn't that I didn't have fun, but I just wasn't able to create like the magic that I wanted to. Man, you know what? Really, like I've had a lot of fun punching Nick Lovin in the face. He's a local worker in San Diego. I really enjoyed punching him in the face. But definitely most magical and person I'd like to wrestle again would be Willie Mack.
Okay, that's a heck of a name to be on the list there. Impact Wrestling, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, been very successful. I'd love to see that too. And another thing that I'd love to see is I'd love to see you get your hands on Ray Rosas once again. So let's talk about the PP3 Finals. Of course, this happened, I believe, back in March. And reliving some of that action now as we head towards our live return. But you've got this match with Ray Rosas coming up, PP3 Finals on the line. The winner gets the urn, and that urn provides an opportunity for any championship, anytime, any place. And the finish of this match, and I'm not sure that this is a spoiler because people have seen it, I have never, ever seen anything like the finish of Idol versus Rosas that we're going to see on Saturday. Have you?
No, not really. Not until I got really deep on some research. Just stumbled upon it. Something similar, I think, in AAA Mexico from 1970, whatever. Wow. So totally by happenstance. Not that I was looking for that. I certainly didn't want to relive that. I can expound on that though, man, because from Las Vegas, but I've been making my home here in California now for a long time, and heard about Ray Rosas, known about Ray Rosas for a long time. Look forward to facing Ray Rosas for a long time. Ray Rosas was somebody I ran up against when I was hurt, like after a long time of never facing him, despite being in the same area, same territory, same promotion at the same time, many times, never getting my hands on Ray Rosas. So the first time we crossed paths, pretty cool contest, pretty straight up. This time I get to face a completely different Ray Rosas, a Ray Rosas that I don't feel like I respect at all. A Ray Rosas who, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like I haven't done my fair share of cheating and underhanded stuff. So at a certain point, I have to respect at least the creativity on his point. But just overall, he's just a different dude than the guy I heard about, read about, and then came to know myself. It's a different Ray Rosas and not one really that I respect much at all. And definitely one that I want to get my hands on again.
Yeah, and I could definitely agree with that. Over the last 14 months, especially here on Memphis television, we've seen Ray Rosas transition from a well-liked, quote-unquote good guy with Jordan Clearwater to punching Clearwater in the face, kind of putting together his own army of static who help him every chance he gets, including this Saturday. And I know in the next coming weeks, our episodes are going to be very, very heavy Anthony Idol, and I think the fans are going to love that. Real quick, before I let you go, let's talk about getting back to action. It's been announced that David Marquez, within the next, I believe we're down to the next couple of weeks now, there's supposed to be some live return, and starting in August, we'll have some brand new episodes, and one would have to think that the Neon Phenomenon is going to be heavy into the mix. Last time we saw you, you were face-to-face with Big Mike O'Shea, and I know that you've still got your eyes set on not only the PP3 Cup, but for some championship gold. So what can we look forward to getting you back in action?
As soon as we get those dates, I guess I'm going to be there. I've been back in the gym, mask on. I've been out on the hiking trail trying to get my cardio back up. So I'm trying to get ready to rock and roll. As soon as we get those dates, we'll find out. So if it's Mikey O'Shea, if it's Ray Rosas, if it's, a lot of people are talking about Eric Watts. As far as I'm concerned, Eric Watts and I are on the same side of the fences for right now. But I'm just looking forward to getting back in action, man. My big thing about this, let's get back to the physicality. Let's start slapping meat.
Oh yeah! All right, before we go, I gotta have you turn it on. Turn on the Neon Phenomenon real quick, and let Memphis know how you feel about the love that they've shown you so far.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the baller, the shot caller, the man who makes all the ladies holler, the dude who is steadily pushing plates, eating steaks, and getting dates, the incredible one, the Neon Phenomenon, Anthony Idol.
Last week on Championship Wrestling, it was a special 4th of July episode featuring PP3 Part 1 coverage, starting off with outlandish Zicky Dice versus Jordan Clearwater. Afterward, Zicky Dice went absolutely nuts.
You guys think I'm the loser? Huh? No, you're the losers. Memphis is the losers. Amarillo are the losers because, listen, you will never, and I mean never, see Zicky Dice here again!
Then, Halston Body threw a curveball at Lacey Ryan.
Vipress is going to make her Championship Wrestling debut by interjecting into this best-of-7 series. Round splash!
Lacey Ryan flies to victory. And in our main event, this tag team grudge match got a little more interesting just before bell time.
Loser leaves town! What do you say, boys?
The undefeated Wolf Zaddies exterminate Vermin once and for all.
Bye-bye, Vermin!
All that and so much more on the fastest hour in pro wrestling. Watch episode 66 in full on our official YouTube channel at CW30 Wrestling.
The Championship Wrestling Rewind is brought to you by BFree CBD.
What a fun interview from the Neon Phenomenon, Anthony Idol. You're going to see him next Saturday in the finals, in the main event against Ray Rosas. But let's rewind back to this past Saturday, where you just heard the highlights. Outlandish Zicky Dice was in action against Jordan Clearwater. What a big victory for Jordan Clearwater over the NWA television champion Zicky Dice. And of course, Zicky Dice went crazy on David Marquez during the post-match interview and basically quit and walked off set. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll see where that ends up. And then we had another curveball here with Lacey Ryan versus Heather Monroe in the best-of-7 series. It was match 3. Halston Body had a special stipulation, but it wasn't Heather Monroe taking on Lacey Ryan. It was actually Vipress making her debut. Big swerve, blew up in Halston Body's face. If you missed that, you have to go check out Vipress' debut. She was very, very impressive. But Lacey Ryan, oh my goodness, on top of the women's division right now. You're going to see more of that in the coming weeks as well. And then we had a tag team warfare grudge match main event. But for some reason, Johnny Yuma decided to up the stakes. It was Loser Leaves Town And the Wolf Zaddies picked up the victory. Yep, that means Vermin is gone. Also, along with that, we had our part 2 interview with Pork Chop Cash, where he talked about tag teaming with the Dream Machine, also tag teaming with Mad Dog, and of course talking about just how great the Rock and Roll Express are. Very, very cool stuff. Exclusive. You can find that on our YouTube channel at CW30 Wrestling. You can find that entire episode. That's episode 66 in full on our official YouTube channel at CW30 Wrestling.
The Championship Wrestling Lookout is brought to you by BFree CBD.
Man, there's a lot to look out for this week. Starting on Thursday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, you can catch me on Sports 56 Mornings with Peter and CJ talking pro wrestling. You can listen live from anywhere in the world at sports56whbq.com. You see the listen live button, click it, and listen to me talk pro wrestling. Then, Thursday at noon, it's an all-new Grind City Wrestling. You can listen at grindcitymedia.com/podcast. If you haven't heard the podcast yet, first of all, shame on you. And second of all, here's a little sneak preview of what you're missing out on.
Kenny Omega, best friends coming out
in the minivan.
In the minivan.
You stole it from me.
His mom dropping him off in the minivan.
And then asking for the kiss.
Yes.
What is better in the world today than seeing the best friends being dropped off
In a
to the
minivan.
ring in a minivan by Trent Beretta's mom?
We always have a whole lot of fun on Grind City Wrestling. Catch it at noon every single Thursday at grindcitymedia.com/podcast. Then, next Saturday, it's PP3 Finals Blockbuster Part 2. We've talked about it a little bit already on this program, but let me give you the full rundown. Up first, you've got the Friendship Farm of Gentleman Jervis, Super Beetle, and Sweet Robin Shaw in 6-man tag team action against Wasted Youth and Ice Williams. And be on lookout, because I have a bad feeling that Jamie Iovine is going to be recruiting Ice Williams around ringside somewhere, some shape, some form, some fashion. I don't think that is over, but 6-man tag team action will happen on Saturday. And then we have former friends turned bitter enemies. Levi Shapiro with Howdy Price goes one-on-one, allegedly, with Buddy Royal for the #1 contendership to the United TV title, which is held by Dan Joseph. So Buddy Royal, Levi Shapiro, 2 former Classic Connection tag team partners going at it with Howdy Price in Levi's corner. The winner gets a shot at the United TV title, and then it's the match we've been talking about this entire episode, the PP3 Blockbusters Final with Anthony Idol versus Ray Rosas, and you know the United World Tag Team Champions Adrian Quest and Andy Brown will be lurking somewhere in the building and probably ringside. And along with all that action, we've got Pork Chop Cash third and final interview segment. You're going to like that. He talks about Vince McMahon Sr. being 80 years old and how he's been able to stay alive and stay healthy all this time. And he also is going to warn you guys to be careful out there. Plus, we're going to have a special feature on an online wrestling league that is run by my buddy Ryan J. Barber. J stands for phenomenal, by the way. It's Artemisia Championship Wrestling. You can go to twitch.tv/RhinoJB and watch all the action. But we're going to have a special feature this coming Saturday. And also, check this out. This is bigger than the show itself, to be quite honest with you. Myself and my Maria are going to have a very special announcement for everyone. And then immediately following the announcement, we're going to go on YouTube Live to answer your questions all about it. So Saturday at noon on CW30 and on YouTube Premiere, you do not want to miss Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingo. And of course, look out, Dave & Buster's Watch Party returns July 19th for Extreme Rules. Yes, they are open. Yes, it's social distancing at its finest, so we can all watch wrestling and be safe. Live events are coming soon on the other side of the pandemic. Keep your ears and eyes open for that. And also, big thank you to everybody who ordered a brand new t-shirt from our Championship Wrestling shop. We were offering 20% off for the 4th of July. Lots of you were able to take advantage of that offer. And don't worry, we're going to have more of that to come. And if you missed out on it, just go to championshipwrestlingmemphis.com and click shop.
It's time for this week's Mailbag. Mailbag.
It's time for my favorite segment of each and every show, where I get to answer your questions in the mailbag. And like I say each week, these questions come from my Instagram story at Dustin Star. I do my best to answer them online, but then I try to give you a little bit more detail right here on the podcast. Got some good ones this week, so let's go ahead and dive in. First and foremost, this is a real important question. What's going on your tacos? Meats and toppings. What's going on Dustin Star's tacos? Well, let's get this highly important question out of the way. I'm all about the meats, man. The grilled chicken, the grilled steak, and then of course you got to have all the healthy stuff, the lettuce, the cheese. I'm going soft tacos. Hopefully they're wheat. So I basically eat for health at this point. If I'm going to cheat and have a big old nasty taco, I'd much rather have a big old nasty double cheeseburger from somewhere. And I'm talking about a real cheeseburger. You know, a Kooky Canuck cheeseburger. Huey's or Tops Barbecue big double cheeseburger. But meats are basically what's going on my tacos. Meats, cheese, lettuce, maybe some pico. I like it. What's going on your tacos? Hit me up. Next question. Has the patch on the back of your head grown back yet? For those of you who missed it, during quarantine, my Maria cut my hair, and boy, did she do a number on the back of it. She basically took this big, huge chunk out of the back of my head where it looked bald, but yes, it has grown back. My hair grows pretty fast, and I was stuck in the house, so I don't think very many people saw it in person anyway. Next question, mask or no mask? What should people be doing? Hashtag, what would 5-star do? Well, you know exactly what I'd do. I'm masking up. And if you guys have seen the positive tests of COVID-19, then you should mask up too. You shouldn't even have to have a government tell you to do it. I mean, come on, let's do it smart. And those of you who are arguing that the deaths are down, but the virus is up, that doesn't do us any good. Yeah, less people are dying, but we still can't have sports. We can't still do any of the things that we used to do on a regular basis. So do your part and mask up. And this Saturday on Championship Wrestling, you're going to see some fun little skits involving that, but they're also serious. We can be serious and have fun at the same time. Next question. It's another food question. Do pineapples belong on pizza? And I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you say, but pineapples absolutely belong on pizza. There, I said it. Yes, pineapples absolutely belong on pizza. I'll tell you, one of my favorite pizzas is a thin crust with barbecue sauce, barbecue chicken, and then put some pineapples on top of it. But then again, also, if you have a pepperoni pizza, you could put pineapples on top of it. Pineapples do belong on pizza, and I don't care what anybody says. Don't even at me on that. Next question. Chances we see crowds come back to wrestling in 2021. Now, online, I posted a picture of Jason Voorhees with a big axe over his head like he's coming after us. I think COVID-19 and the coronavirus will absolutely still be around in the year 2021. I don't think it's going away anytime soon, especially the way that I see us Americans, or should I say you Americans, not being very protective of your neighbors. So I do think that we're going to see crowds come back to wrestling in 2021, but I do think that coronavirus will still be running rampant, and I think, actually, man, that's a heck of a question. I don't see the coronavirus going away anytime soon, but I do somehow see crowds coming back to not only wrestling, but coming back to sports in some capacity, even if it's with a mask ordinance or at half capacity. And that's still a tough one, man, because WrestleMania, you have 100,000 people there. If you cut it in half, 50,000, that's still a ton. What's the difference between 100,000 and 50,000? Anyway, all right, next question. The worst wrestling stable in history. Now, this one was really tough. And the answer I gave online was League of Nations. If you guys remember Bad News Barrett, Alberto Del Rio, Sheamus, Zeb Coulter. Gosh, I think I'm forgetting somebody. Anyways, I like all those guys individually, but I just didn't like the League of Nations stable. I just didn't like them all being in the stable. But since then, I've thought of a couple of more. What about the Filthy Animals? It's got to be the worst stable in history, right? Even though they had some of the best wrestlers. Or what about the LWO? Or the OWN, which I don't even know if One Warrior Nation was even considered a stable because it only had the Warrior in it. Or how about WCW's No Limit Soldiers? Hit me back on this. Let me know what the worst wrestling stable in history is. I just named a couple of them for you. Next question, what's your favorite thing to do while in quarantine? Gosh, nothing. No, I'm just kidding. I like to work. Whether it's doing podcasts, editing video, doing new commercials for Championship Wrestling, I work in quarantine. And also I like to walk the puppy boys and the puppy girls. Walking the dog has actually been something fun. And our little Chihuahua Bruno just absolutely goes crazy when he sees the leash. All right, a couple questions left. This is a good one. I've never been asked this before. Metallica or Megadeth? 100% I'm going Metallica all day, every day. But there was a time when Sting came out to Megadeth. And I started listening to a little bit more Megadeth because of Sting in WCW coming out to a Megadeth song. So I do like Megadeth. It was all spearheaded by Stinger. I do like Megadeth. I like their stuff. But come on. Metallica is one of the GOATs. Hands down. Last question. And this is a question that I would like to pose to you all, because we did the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. We did this online and we did it on Grind City Wrestling last Thursday. This question says, what is your Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling? And so right off the jump, of course, I filled in the little heads on the Mount Rushmore graphic, and I put Stephanie McMahon, Trish Stratus, Miss Elizabeth, and Miss Jacqueline, who also is Miss Texas, because I grew up watching her in USWA and in Power Pro Wrestling, beating up guys, and then goes to WCW and WWE, beating up guys and beating up gals, becoming women's champion, and also becoming a Hall of Famer. But if you ask me on any other given day, I will have a different list because they're so great, because I want to include Sherry Martel. I want to include Mae Young and the Fabulous Moolah. You could say what you want about their history, but just as many people talk good about them behind the scenes as they do when they're trashing them. How about Charlotte Flair? Woo! Even at an early age now, I think Charlotte Flair deserves to be on the Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling. But the list that I gave was Stephanie McMahon, Trish Stratus, Miss Elizabeth, and Miss Jacqueline. Who do you got on your Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling?
Thanks for listening to the Championship Wrestling Podcast presented by BFreeCBD.com.
BFree CBD, pain on, pain gone. BFree CBD.
Oh yeah, thank you for joining us once again on the Championship Wrestling Podcast presented by BFree CBD. Go ahead and check them out. That's the letter B, freecbd.com. And if you already take CBD, or if you've been thinking about trying it, certainly try BFree CBD. And I had a buddy reach out to me via text, ask me some questions about it. I pointed him in the right direction, and the next text I got was a picture of his new BFree CBD oil that he ordered and was sent in the mail. So you can order from anywhere in the world. That's BFreeCBD.com, and you'll be able to pick it up at the new location in Memphis, Tennessee very, very soon. But we're going to catch you again here next week for another edition of the Championship Wrestling Podcast presented by BFree CBD. Remember, you can hit me with your own questions. That's at Dustin Starr on Instagram. I asked on Friday, but you can send them anytime you want. And I can't wait until next week where we can talk about the special surprise from myself and my Maria. And until then, I am Dustin Starr, saying so long, everybody.
Saturday at noon, it's an all-new Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle.
Saturday, it's the finals of the PP3 tournament. Anthony Idol takes on Ray Rosas.
That's Saturday at noon, right here on CW30 Memphis.